Our managing editor Anand Narasimhan joins us live from the SCO meet in Goa. Very good morning to you, Anand. Anand, that bilateral meet between our External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar and Sergey Lavrov, the Russian Foreign Minister, expected to take place this afternoon, and all eyes on that.
Yes, it is. Sergey Lavrov landed early in the morning today at around 7:30. He was in Goa, and his engagement is at around 3 p.m. But right now we've got visuals also of the Foreign Minister S Jaishankar, who actually came in a day before, that is a day ahead of this entire event. He landed yesterday in the afternoon around 1:30. We actually met him, saw him at the airport, and were pleasantly surprised that the Foreign Minister has come in so early. But India is playing host. India is also the chair for this Foreign Ministers Council meet at the SCO. And that's why there is a lot of work behind the scenes that's going on. There are mutual engagements or one-on-one engagements which are also informal, which is happening. Right now, the Foreign Minister is already up and about. He's just met with the SCO Secretary General Zhang Ming. The SCO Secretariat is based out of Beijing, but the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Secretary General is Zhang Ming, and he's also present here. There is also a anti-terrorism secretary who's also present. We will have all the foreign ministers coming in very, very soon, one after the other. Sergey Lavrov has come. We are given to understand that the Pakistan Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto is expected sometime around 1 p.m. this afternoon. We will have the Uzbek, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan foreign ministers all arriving. And, of course, we will have Chingan, the Chinese foreign minister, also coming in. India is going to have some of the bilaterals on the sidelines today. The main ones or the most important ones are with Sergey Lavrov, and the other one is with Chingan. These two meetings will be scheduled, and they will all happen at the same venue in different meeting rooms. Sergey Lavrov, after meeting Dr. Jaishankar, is going to meet the Chinese foreign minister, and towards the evening there is a one-on-one between Sergey Lavrov and also the Pakistan foreign minister Bilawal Bhutto. Now, Pakistan has been very actively wanting to buy petroleum at a cheaper cost or crude at a cheaper cost from the Russians, but Pakistan has also been caught playing a double game. Does Russia know that a lot of the ammunition, that is some of the ammunition that's being fired by the Ukrainian forces at the Russians, is actually being made in Pakistan ordnance factories, and this is as per a contract or commission from the United Kingdom. Now, these are questions which remain, but they are not the focus of the SCO. The focus of the SCO is, can the three big nations in this SCO grouping right now, there are other nations who also want to join this grouping, but they'll be keenly watching, can China, Russia and India work together? And can the nations who are part of the SCO, who are aligned to one of the or the other of these countries, toe the line? And can there be direct trade routes, direct trade, currencies or platforms that will be built which will not be dependent on the dollar at all? That's the big challenge for this region, and that's where the focus is. Is India also very clearly focusing towards not just counter-terrorism measures, but more importantly, increased regional cooperation, and that hinges on trade and economics. Nations are now waking up and wisening up to the importance of de-dollarization, to be able to ensure that their foreign reserves are not totally dependent on the dollar. Russia has already moved away from that. China has moved away from that. India has moved away from having more bulk of their bullion or bulk of their foreign reserves in dollars. They are now nations are wanting to have a 50-50 balance, if not lesser dependence on dollar. And the reason behind this, because people are realizing the impact of dollar hegemony or dollar terror. In fact, there are many people from the business community also who have spoken about it here in India and abroad. There are politicians talking about it, economic experts talking about it, and of course America is wisening up to this, and there will be resistance. But in this region, if you were to open up the map and if you were to see, if Russia, China and India, along with nations like Pakistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan is part of the observer team, Iran is there is Indonesia who wants to get involved, there are other countries who want to become part of SCO. Can these nations, irrespective of their individual bilateral skirmishes and issues, arrive at a solution to have long-term trade routes? Can the old trade routes be revived? If we were to go back 300, 400, 500 years ago, all these nations were traveling, trading, connecting with each other, irrespective of the battles that were being fought. Now, there were fights to control these trade routes, but if nations can say, irrespective of who's in power, which way the political pendulum swings in these nations, whatever are the individual personal fights, can they rise above that and look at this region, because this is 2/3 of the world's population. Now, can this grouping look at this market and say that we will all trade with each other and reduce our dependence on the dollar? That's the only way the global south and also the Asian nations can come back and also exact their pound of flesh in world geopolitics, because it all hinges on economics. There will be multiple cascading ramifications for this. Support within the UN, diluting the powers vested only in 5 nations, leaving the voices of more than 108 other nations in the UN absolutely bereft of any clout or control. And nations which are doing far better. 75 years ago, the global geopolitical equations were different. Today, in 2023, things are different. The true course for multilateralism is to move towards de-dollarization, and that's going to be one of the important aspects of cooperation. If the Pakistanis, as we reported earlier this morning here on News18, as per our investigations editor Manoj Gupta, if the Pakistanis are saying we are not going to raise any bilateral issue because we want to focus on trade, cooperation, economic cooperation and peace in the region, the importance of not depending on any one country and moving away from the dollar is perhaps the biggest textbook example is Pakistan. All these years it was the American dollar that was funding Pakistan. Moment that dollar moved away, look what's happened to Pakistan. So these are all things which everybody can see. India is the fourth largest economy, a vibrant, pitching itself as a manufacturing hub and also the largest market. India is also the host and the chair. So the focus would be if they can actually come down to the real issues that SCO should actually be talking about. And that will be interesting based on the meetings and, of course, the net takeaway of the Foreign Ministers Council meet.
Absolutely, Anand. Let's also go across and get a word from our colleague Abhishek Jha, who's also present there. Very good morning to you, Abhishek. Now, as Anand's pointing out, the focus is on increased trade relations and cooperation between these nations. But, for instance, what are the challenges that could pose to that? Because the Russian defense minister, for instance, has already raised questions against the Quad. What are the challenges that stand in the way of that increased cooperation, which is the top focus of this meet today and tomorrow?
So clearly, the SCO member states, they have in the past also underlined the fact that SCO organization is not being created or being enlarged to counter any other global or multilateral organization. Many times it is said that Russia, China, India and other Eurasian countries are trying to create an organization, a multilateral setup where they can counter NATO and other European Union organizations in terms of trade, politics and geopolitical strength. But Zhang Ming, having come to this spar, he is a very senior diplomat. He is a veteran foreign ministry diplomat of China, and he has served in European Union as an ambassador. He has served in Israel and other parts of the world also. So he comes with a lot of experience and a strong mandate also, a political mandate also from the Chinese side. And when he's talking, External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar is meeting with Zhang Ming, will be laying out some groundwork as to what all could be the major areas of focus when India is hosting this Shanghai Cooperation Organization, in terms of political security, in terms of trade dynamics, in terms of regional connectivity, what all India can bring on the table, its IT-enabled services, its agriculture expertise, and other natural medicine areas where India has been a kind of very strong. And this is what Prime Minister Modi has expressed his interest and intent also during the SCO summit in Samarkand in Uzbekistan last year. So what all are the areas of cooperation and where all India can pitch in will be the highlight of this meeting, where External Affairs Minister has just met SCO General Secretary General Zhang Ming.
Thank you very